Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Brenda Tubana, soil fertility professor based at LSU campus in Baton Rouge. Welcome to our talk. I'm with our postdoc, Bruno Nicchio. Our presentation today is about soil fertility and biostimulant. And so, although I don't have much of them in this trip, first and foremost, I would like to acknowledge the presence of some of my soil fertility team here. Definitely, it's not going to work all the time if we don't have all the help that we can get to put out these very, very intensive trials that we're doing for sugarcane particularly. So we actually sent out an infographics. Just this is about the soil fertility research that we've been working on, and the program will compose of two things. You just have the facts that is written in the infographics, and then also Bruno will talk about our biostimulant products. We're standing in front of a trial, one of the many trials that we have. We're looking into what you call testing biostimulants. There are also trials around the station, which unfortunately we won't be able to see through, but these are cluster testing of biostimulants, meaning we're having multiple products testing their performance, looking at yield, soil properties changes in response to the application and nutrient uptake. So going to that first topic of this talk is this soil fertility research that we have. So if you look into this broken down information, you'll see that the very first information that flash out is that 22% of productivity in sugarcane particularly, and this is based from the 5-year data that we have, is due to soil fertility. Whatever the soil fertility means, application of fertilizer, making the soil more fertile, having a lot of nutrients, or at least in a balanced amount, 22% can be accounted for soil fertility. And below that, you'll see the current recommendation. What you see is only a part of it. We have for nitrogen, for potassium, and sulfur. These are the main fertilizer nutrients that we applied. And the ranges that is given, those are the ranges recommendation that we give. And we adjust them based on crop age, based on soil type, and some of them based on soil test level. So you see those ranges, and those are optimal level. That means it will bring you the best productivity level that you can get based on fertility of the soil. Now, on the right side of the infographic, you'll see that we need to make sure our application recommendation, or the way we give our guidelines, it's the best one, or at least the most efficient one, because of the price of fertilizer. 30% of the expenses, this is the data from last year, is actually allocated for fertilizer. And we break it down into nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus being 15, 13, and 2%. That's a lot of percentage of cost that you invest for fertilizer. And we need to make sure every unit of fertilizer that we apply will be taken up by sugarcane to bring up the productivity level one notch higher each time. So on the second part of the infographic, you see this is what we call always something that tells us we need to continue our work, our goal. So there are fertilizer supplies and accessibility challenges, and this is because of many reasons, beginning with fuel price hike, because fertilizer cost is attached to fuel prices. Whenever you see prices of fuel increases, there's also corresponding increase in fertilizer. What else? Declining sources. Our mineral deposits is nowhere the same level as we had 100 years ago. Sooner or later will decline, especially for potassium and phosphorus fertilizer. And not that it's a bad thing, we have cleaner air, but our atmosphere has not contributing a lot when it comes to sulfur, which is one of the nutrients that we have to make sure in sufficient amount. They're declining. So for the fertility project or research that we're running, we have this goal. We continuously do the routine validation. Why? Because we have to match the yield potential. We have the breeders here. They have a very good breeding program. Every year or every 4 years, they're going to release a new variety that are more efficient. We need to make sure our fertilizer guidelines is valid, that it works well for that particular cultivar. And production technologies. We have different conservation programs right now. We have precision ag, precise ways. We have technologies that you can improve productivity, irrigation. If there's anything that in that manner, we need to make sure we have that fertilizer guidelines that will match their demand and be able to get this recommendation suited to their system. Lastly, And this is where Bruno's work on biostimulant, because he's stepping up as a leader of this program when it comes to the use of biostimulant. Remember, global climate change. We have all these changes in the environment, weather pattern, drought stress, high disease pressure. And of course, we also consider the declining supply of fertilizer. We need to make sure we fine-tune our fertilizer. The straight program NPKs, maybe we can do better. Make sure they're more efficient and more productive, and the performance suited up with this changing weather and the growing condition. And this is something that we look into, the use of biostimulant technology. And so with that, I will give this mic to Bruno Nicchio to talk about biostimulants and what is really biostimulants. If anybody heard about this? Anybody heard about biostimulant? A few? Nod, shake head. Well, that's good. Whatever it is, it's time for you to get something out of our research on biostimulant.
Thank you, Dr. Tubana. Good morning, everyone. I think just a couple of you have the flyer, but I want to share, as she mentioned, about the biostimulant technology and the potential of it in sugarcane. So first of all, my name is Bruno. I'm from Brazil, the sugarcane land. I've been working with sugarcane for the last 10 years. And for the past year, I've been here at LSU working in Louisiana with Dr. Tubana. So it's a pleasure. I've been working with the biggest sugarcane mills in the world in Brazil. And I can tell everything that the farmers are doing here in Louisiana, the research, LSU, American Sugarcane League, is just amazing. And I'm just proud and happy also to be part of this team and to be able to help a little bit with our research that we're doing here. So what are those? Biostimulants, right? So the biostimulants, they are products, as you can check on the flyer. The main reason of those names are just to tell you that they can be substance like plant conditioners, biofactors, mixture of materials that can promote the growth of the plants. These can come from synthetic or natural products, and such as nitrogen fixers, organic matter decomposers, nutrient solubilizers, and also to help the plant with their yield and whatever. So we don't want to talk about products here. The main basis is just to share about this technology. To give you an idea, we have more than 35 brands, more than 50 companies in this country. So there's a lot of things outside and people telling, oh, this is biostimulant, that is biostimulant. But we have to think about the purpose for those products. So that's why we started this research. Actually, Dr. Tubana started in 2022. So since then, we have a couple of sites that are able to show us those first results with biostimulant application. I have to give thanks to our team. We have more than 15 students working. We have more than 70 trials, to give you an idea. So that keeps us busy the whole year. And for the second topic on the flyer is just to show you the response of plant cane to nutritional program application. What does that mean, Bruno? It's just a combination of a couple of biostimulants. And what we try here, we did three treatments. First of all, during the plant season, we apply biostimulants, and the coming up spring, we also apply the biostimulant that we call Nutritional 1. Nutritional 2 and 3 were just spring application, compared to the standard farm application. For example, 120 units of nitrogen, 80 units of potassium. So we did it 2 sites, one here at the station and the second one in Napoleonville, the farmers site. And the data show us that the use of biostimulants, especially the nutritional program during the spring, gave us an increase of 3 tons of cane tonnage, and also more than 1,700 pounds of sugar. So that just for the plant cane. In the second study, on the third topic, this was for the nitrogen and potassium biostimulant, but we also did for a nitrogen study. For this nitrogen study, also in a plant cane, we apply with the nitrogen sources. It was 100% of nitrogen, in other words, 120 units of nitrogen alone, and then 120 units, 100% with biostimulant. Half of the dose, 50%, 60 pounds, 60 units of nitrogen, and 0, no nitrogen with biostimulant. And what we got for this first year was the 100% standard practice with biostimulant, the nitrogen biostimulant, gave us 6 tons increase of cane tonnage comparing to no treatment, but also, with no nitrogen plus biostimulant, and 3 tons comparing the higher dose of nitrogen with biostimulant with no biostimulant at all. And 600 pounds of sugar. Just to give you an idea, that's why I'm not mentioning product names here, because we are trying to check all these technologies. There's a lot of retailers here in the US selling a lot of products, so our focus are to get those main products that are outside and testing them here to check whether or not they will give us responses. And for the fourth topic, we did, besides the nitrogen and potassium together, the nitrogen alone, we also did the potassium alone. What we did was we applied 80 units of potassium and then 6 sources of potassium biostimulants. The third study was in the first return. What gave us no response in yield and neither in sugar, just a small increase for those that have the flyer. I'm sorry we don't have enough, but didn't bring us too much increase. And this is just give us an idea that those technologies have a potential for sugarcane. So we still have a lot of questions. And what we've seen so far that those products can promote sugarcane productivity, have just helping you as a strategy in sugarcane field. As you can see here, we're in a biostimulant side. We don't have the data yet, of course. We just started this year. This is a third return. So we burned this field and we did a foliar application. So this is an old cane, and I think it's coming good, especially what we did here was 120 units of nitrogen with and without biostimulant. So we want to see if those products can really help or not the sugarcane yield. And just to finish, I just want to say that we don't have all the answers. We got more questions. And for our ongoing research, our goal is to ask those questions. First of all, what is the time application? Should we apply those products on the billet in the fall and then coming up during the spring and do a foliar application? Should we do just furrow? Should we do just spring or either fall application? So that will depend on the product, of course. So we want to answer those questions, and the response varieties may change. That's why we're going to start new trials this coming up year with different varieties, different types of application, different rates, and to give you more answers about this kind of technology. So we have a lot of questions, but so far, what we can tell you guys that biostimulants can be something that can help you. We will not substitute nitrogen, potassium, or fertilization, of course, but can help you increase, especially as Dr. Tubana mentioned. Last year with this drought, we got a response in one of our trials. So maybe those products and this technology can help. So that will be all. I just want to say thank you. If you have questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them.
Dr. Bruno, you answered one of my questions on the timing. It sounds like y'all looking at different times y'all putting this out. So I guess I have 2 questions left. One, which variety did y'all test this on? Do you know?
Yes, this is there's 299 if I'm not wrong. Yes. And we also have here, let me get to the studies that we show here is just 299, but we're going to start on 885 as well, and we have
There's one more in lower there, in production still.
in a production field we have another variety as well.
And the second question is, you said you saw an increase when you put out some of these products. Was it enough of an increase to pay for the added cost of putting that chemical out?
Well, I cannot give you a proper answer, but one of the things that we want to look into ahead is that, because we know a lot of products are very expensive. So is that worth it to apply? Of course, you can have increase, but is that gonna pay? It's a great question, sir. But our main goal here is to not just answer that, but whether or not these products will give you an increase, that it might also help you during the stress periods. So I cannot answer properly because we're still going with this research, but it is those are one of our goals. And I can tell you, if those technologies are applied properly, because this is another thing, if you don't apply correct this technology, and not just the technology by itself, because if you just apply the biostimulant and don't fertilize, you're not going to get anything. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a lot of things together combined so you can get something coming up later. You're going to go around, you're going to see a couple of signs, the trials that we've been doing here, for example, cover crop and a lot of things. And what we think is like biostimulant will just be a plus. And with all that we are doing here and the farmers as well, they can also have better response. And maybe that can be paid up with they're going to get it.